seed anymore. In most parts of the world, some places prevent it. If it is that we want food security, we need to stop those things coming in here and also prevent our health from being disrupted further. These genetically modified foods were expected to help with extreme weather so that the crops could grow, to fatten, well, chicken, cows, and so on. And we are experiencing those side effects. And we are having more diseases that you're seeing all over the world.
Is there a question, or you just, because you can submit ideas?
The question really would be, not really question, the proposal is, let's stop genetically foods being imported. That's it.
Okay.
Does everybody have their headphones so that we can facilitate, if you want to listen to the exchange between the ambassador from the DR and the response he wants to pose to Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, who, you know what, PM, we did say we were breaking with certain protocols here, so we would ask both Ambassador and Prime Minister that you can do this over bilateral, but for purposes of sharing, it will be facilitated very briefly in this forum.
Sí, gracias. No es mi propósito establecer un debate con el honorable primer ministro Gonsalves, de quien tengo, por cierto, una gran simpatía, históricamente hablando. Es bueno que se sepa que yo fui embajador de la República Dominicana en el periodo 2004-2009 en la República de Haití, y que durante esos 4 magníficos años me sentí muy feliz de ser embajador en la hermana República Haitiana. Entre haitianos y dominicanos solo existe la solidaridad, la hermandad. Puede haber medidas de carácter de la justicia dominicana que pueden ser compartidas o no, pero tanto el gobierno dominicano como el pueblo dominicano son enteramente solidarios con el pueblo haitiano. Pero más que eso, nos sentimos orgullosos de compartir esa isla con Haití, con tan valeroso, con tan laborioso pueblo, que además ha marcado páginas heroicas en la vida de nuestro Caribe y del mundo. Nos sentimos orgullosos también de que miles de familias dominicanas compartan de manera sanguínea el origen haitiano. Por igual quiero insistir en que el gobierno dominicano no discrimina por su origen a ninguna persona. Eso sería anticonstitucional en la República Dominicana. Insisto, y voy a repetir algo porque me gustaría, ya que el primer ministro citó a Carlos Marx. Carlos Marx dijo también que cuando en un país hay una ley hay que aplicarla, o una resolución de un organismo institucional, como es por ejemplo el Tribunal Constitucional de la República Dominicana, y eso está al margen de las disposiciones del Poder Ejecutivo según la Constitución de nuestro país. Entonces, lo importante es que si algo está mal, cooperemos entre todos. Y yo agradezco infinitamente la expresión del primer ministro, lo agradezco como dominicano, como ciudadano y como embajador de la República Dominicana, ese interés de cooperar en el plano de lo que es la resolución de cualquier problema que pueda existir en el seno de nuestras poblaciones. Asimismo, hago un llamado a la CARICOM para que tome muy en cuenta el interés que tiene la República Dominicana de entrar a ese organismo como miembro completo y poder así contribuir juntos a edificar un Caribe más sólido, más fuerte y más solidario. Muchísimas gracias. Y primer ministro, no se sienta mal porque lo que he dicho es de manera muy fraterna. Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador.
May I say this without engaging in any prolonged debate?
They've got to turn it, yeah. The earpiece. Yeah. You have your earpiece?
My earpiece is gone.
Maybe use the microphone if you wish.
Be very brief. whatever relations exist between Haiti and the Dominican Republic insofar as Haitian migrants to the Dominican Republic are concerned, that is largely the business of the people of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. The issue I'm talking about are persons who are of Haitian descent, who are born in the Dominican Republic and who are denied citizenship because of their origin. That is not a question between Haiti and the Dominican Republic. That is a question of international human rights. And I want to say this. If CARICOM welcomes the Dominican Republic as a member of CARICOM, without the Dominican Republic settle this question in relation to people of the Dominican Republic, citizens of the Dominican Republic who have Haitian descent. If CARICOM allows them in the back door, I leave the front door. Let me make that absolutely clear so that nobody is in any doubt as to the position. At the same time, I accept what my brother has said, that we can work together to help to solve the problem. And we are prepared to do that. But that is if the Dominican Republic wants to receive our help. The law which you have passed have addressed maximum 10% of the people who are entitled to citizenship because of their birth. And you can twist and dance as much as you want. You can get Karl Marx to support you on that, which is a very novel proposition. You're not convincing right-thinking persons. And I want to say this. I had a discussion on the 19th of December 2013 with Pope Francis. And he happens to share my view and not yours on the question. Thank you very much.
Good evening.
I think we are fast approaching the end of the session. I think we have another 10 minutes or so.
And we will want to move it, Sahiri, we will want to move it on the 1 minute, timeline that we're on.
You're going to go out the front door.
Yeah.
Good evening.
So I'm going to intervene if people do not make their intervention within the 60 seconds for this wrap-up here.
Okay.
I'm going to help you with that.
Go right ahead. Thank you very much.
Hi, good evening. This is a very simple observation. Esteemed gentlemen, in the next 50 to 60 years, where do you see yourselves? My question, what initiatives are being put in place to mentor our young people for leadership in this region? When will the grip of political leadership in the Caribbean be loosened to make a way for our true future, which is on your backdrop, which is the youth? A disruptive approach, I would see it as having the youth tackle these issues and you persons stand where I am standing today to ask the questions.
Good night. Tony Thorne, a World Economic Forum Global Shaper, joined by Pt46. And the question is directed to Dr. the Honorable Ralph Gonzalez. I heard you speak about Hyatt, and most of us are millennials at the table that I'm at. And for many years, we've heard about all of the issues as it relates to Hyatt. And I wanted to find out if there are any new ideas and any new solutions to making Hyatt a self-sustaining, profitable entity. Because if Richard Branson, who's one man, could do it with Virgin, what new ideas does the Caribbean have for Hyatt?
I would like Richard Branson to try to come and run Hyatt and see if he can succeed.
Exactly.
You know, so you're comparing apples and oranges. The truth is this, is that we have now refleeted Hyatt with 9 new ATR planes. 4 ATR 42s and 4 ATR 72s. We're getting an ATR 72 next year. Hyatt is a marginal financial proposition, and we are seeking to make a series, many more reforms. I can have a discussion with you, my dear comrade sister. But what I'd like to see, I would like to see more Caribbean governments get involved in putting some money in Hyatt. Like, for instance, Timothy Harris. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of money from the passports which they sell. I would like some of that to go into Hyatt to help us with buy and to do these things. That's a new idea. And
small airplanes.
I would like to see a serious discussion start between the government of Trinidad and Tobago, the owner of CAL, and Hyatt. If we have a merger between CAL and Hyatt, especially now we have our new fleet, and I think there are possibilities for this merger, we will have a better service in the region and use that as the base to start to involve Suriname Air, Bahamas Air, and so on and so forth. And let us have a proper functioning regional airline with interconnected lines in the region, and also CAL doing the international work. And I think we can work well together. And that's a new idea for the table today. And I speak as
So Hillary,
chairman.
can I, sorry,
Please.
sorry, Prime Minister. I was just going to say, Prime Minister, I didn't mean to interject. I thought you were finished.
No. I was just going to say, and I speak in this regard with the authority of being the chairman of the shareholders of Hyatt. So it can be taken as a proposal to the government of Trinidad and Tobago at this session.
I was just going to prompt you to nudge the gentleman to your right, Sir Hillary, who is very much involved in trade and could possibly even venture something, not to commit the government, but some notion of designing something that has happened over decades, attempts to create a regional air transport system with some of the key actors. I think I was talking about Minister Barrett.
Oh,
Yeah.
Minister?
He's going to say that we are going to, on the strategic question, he will tell Kamala, yes, let us talk in having one airline between CAL and Hyatt. You can say that, Brother B?
Have an intervention.
I think both airlines have had their share of financial difficulties. And I think that historically, neither airline have really been profitable as far as their governments are concerned. In fact, Trinidad is a small shareholder in Hyatt. But I want to agree with many of the comments here, because if we are to increase regional travel and regional trade and greater movement of people, then we've got to have greater access. And that's the biggest problem. Sometimes it's much easier to go to Miami or other parts of the US than it is to go to another Caribbean island. In fact, sometimes it's more expensive to go to one of the Caribbean islands than it is to go to Miami or to New York. And that can't be right. If we are to encourage interregional tourism, for example, and more intermingling of